a little bit special, even at the age he is. He's still got some wonderful qualities. And that's an accurate free kick that gave Barthez not a lot of chance there. And as you said earlier on, he expected more goals, but I don't think we expected them coming from Celtic.
No, apologies in order, I think, for Celtic for comments of a minute or two ago when it looked as though Martin O'Neill had said, well, come on, we've played our part here, we've given an hour with the senior side in a difficult time in the early weeks of the season. But of course, the fresh players have their own agenda. Manchester United with the greater attempts, but from 5 attempts, Celtic have scored 4 goals. 5 on target. Patter. Off goes Birchall. Trying to work his way out of difficulty. Pressed by Miller, one of the substitutes. McNamara. He's in again, but still 20 minutes left. Manchester United 2, Celtic 4. Smith. Taken up here by Stam. Well, it was a ball play with typical thought from Paul Scholes for Dwight York, but just too long. Plenty of incentive for both clubs in their respective divisions, of course. Celtic looking for back-to-back championships, something that hasn't happened since the early 80s. And Manchester United looking to move into uncharted waters as far as the English League is concerned and win the title for a 4th consecutive season.
That's something they'll be striving very hard to do. Everything's geared towards winning things. They want to go out, they certainly want to give the manager something to celebrate in his last managerial season at United.
A season that might finish, if it goes well in Europe for Manchester United, with a Champions League final in Glasgow.
Yeah, I'm sure that's a massive dream for everyone, particularly the manager. I don't think there could be a more fitting place for him to end his managerial career than certainly an appearance there and possibly a win there.
Patter going down under challenge from Brown and staying down. Brian Scott, one of the great servants behind the scenes, the physio at Celtic.
I think he's been there long enough to have a double testimonial.
Yes.
Excellent physio, great sense of humour.
Celtic within range for the free kick, and there is a suggestion that there might be a very special and unpublicised Manchester United substitution to come. So stay with us. York. Sat up a bit for Tom Boyd. He extricated himself from the difficulties by the slowness of the bounce. Peta. A little bit of mistiming by Wes Brown again, but the referee is, well, there wasn't any meaningful contact, and it's a Manchester United throw now. We know who's coming off here. Paul Scholes. the secret, I suspect, is about to be revealed to you at home and to 67,500 fans here. Here he is. The king is back. Looking pretty trim from his exertions in beach soccer, which he's really into these days. Eric Cantona plays for Manchester United again at Old Trafford for the final 17 minutes.
Well, as you say, it looks as if he's been in training. I don't know what kind of training, but he's been in some kind of training.
Maloney switching the play.
Can't take anything away from Eric, though. He's a wonderful character.
Voted as Manchester United's greatest player in a poll earlier this year. But there are some young Celtic players out there who are not respecters of reputation, actually in Miller. But Giggs. Here's Veron. Well, Veron to Cantona. I don't think you'd be hearing that in Manchester United's vocabulary.
Well, certainly not as early as this, maybe about 20 years' time. When they're both playing beach football.
Veron. York, Van Nistelrooy. But still there. There is some suggestion, Brian, you might be able to throw a bit of light on that. Eric could possibly be doing some coaching for Manchester United.
Yeah, there's a possibility that I think the manager's extended an invitation to him to come in the summer and give some of his coaching ability, his experience to some of the younger players. Haven't seen him so far. Maybe when his beach football commitments are over.
With the odd film part as well.
Well, we've actually got a sort of a sand pit there, so if he's missing the sand, we can have a little game of head tennis. Not so sure about the weather, though.
It's been beautiful today, and it's been a beautiful day for Celtic.
Well, if those Celtic supporters that are going to U2 and Ajax, if it continues to go like this, it could be a very nice trip for them.
Sort of trip, if you believe the legends of supporters of Scotland, that some never return from.
Yeah, I've heard a few people that went to Lisbon in '67 never made it back.
The Lisbon Lions, Celtic, first British club to win the European Cup. Manchester United, the first English club. Saw Barthez out, and all credit to him for trying.
He's certainly got a great belief in himself.
But that's something about Martin O'Neill's management. He has the capacity to inspire, a great motivator.
He's certainly motivated Celtic this year anyway.
Veron. 3-1 to Celtic at a half-time. Veron for Manchester United and Moravcik both spectacularly have scored their respective sides in the second half. Cantona. Giggs. Cantona had gone towards the near post. Ball veered over his head.
A lovely ball there from Ryan Giggs, just Just couldn't quite pick out Eric.
Here's Giggs again. Trying to slip it through for Cantona once more. Philip Neville. McNamara does the blocking.
Again, despite the substitutions Celtic made, they're still sticking their toes in, their heads in, any part of their body.
Burchett, who seemed set for a prominent place in Celtic's fortunes last season, but such as Larsson's season, of course Sutton as well. And he had to move out of Parkhead to get a chance of regular league football. And there was some suggestion there would be a permanent move south, but he's still a Celtic player, and he's making a run here. Holds off Stab. Moravcik, who's a terrific craftsman. Has gone to the near post, and another shy at goal from Maloney.
There's a lovely pass from Moravcik. Maloney again, good technique, and a little bit unfortunate with this volley here.
Mikhail Silvestre, who actually scored for Manchester United against Celtic at Parkhead in May, comes on for Philip Neville. And John Kennedy is replacing Bobby Pettit. So everyone they brought south has got a piece of the action at Old Trafford tonight. Kennedy is a central defender, and that's where he's gone, alongside Tebele. Van Nistelrooy. Pressed by Moravcik. Veron. Taken up though by Miller, with plenty of energy. McNamara. Inside the last 10 minutes on the night, when the Stars are out in force and the spectators are out in force to pay tribute to Ryan Giggs. Smith. Birchall going towards the near post, trapped by Jonsson. Game spread at the moment. Celtic have committed plenty of players in support of that break down the far side. And Cantona feels hard done by. Not an opinion shared by referee Dean.
I can't understand that, Eric, 'cause he used to get them when he was playing.
The flag has gone up. And a little bit on the late side, but it's offside. Moravcik. And on a night when both Ruud van Nistelrooy and Juan Sebastian Veron have marked their first outings at Old Trafford with a goal apiece, it's still Celtic who are stealing the show. Smith. York.
Showing good composure, the Celtic players. Tempo's gone out of the game now.
Well, in Manchester United's calendar, a good strong workout is what's needed. Other games to come. They play a testimonial against Wrexham for Brian Flynn and Kevin Reeves. Not quite for Dwight York, maybe for Van Nistelrooy. Celtic smother him though. Silvestre. His fellow countryman Cantona, who made Veron work and work successfully. York. Van Nistelrooy. Difficult angle, but not too difficult for the Dutchman. Manchester United 3, Celtic 4.
A great finish here from Van Nistelrooy. A lovely little boy through. Once again, he showed the class. Knows where the goals is. Yeah, that's a great finish from him. One more little bit to help him settle in.
As Van Nistelrooy celebrates, Veron departs this game. Luke Chadwick is on. Maloney. And Johnson let it run. Birchall was a little too lively to stop that running through to Barthez, which is what Johnson had in mind. But here's York. So, Brian, what do we need now? A Giggs equaliser or a Cantona equaliser?
Well, I think possibly Giggs equaliser here for it's Giggs' night after all. Maybe think about a finish. Nice tribute to him if he managed to get an equaliser. Although I think he'll have enjoyed himself tonight. It's been a smashing spectacle. A wonderful crowd, great atmosphere. Can't ask for any more than that.
You will be able to leave the stadium with the final whistle. Please would you exit the stadium. Every effort will be made to escort you from the stadium.
Luke Chadwick, who certainly chipped in at vital times last season, and we'll look back on that as a season of real progress.
Wonderful talent, Luke Chadwick. Especially picks up the ball and he's running at people. It's a talent that's very rare in the game now. Be able to beat people with the ball.
And Gould making sure he didn't kick that against York.
Good appetite there from Dwight York. Sniffed an opportunity to maybe get himself on the score sheet.
Moravcik. Butts there for Manchester United. Bristly to Chadwick. Van Nistelrooy! Oh, the frame of the goal when the hat-trick was beckoning.
Great effort there from Van Nistelrooy. Just reminded me though, Dennis Law's words of advice to me a long time ago was, don't score a hat-trick, just give them two, they'll expect a hat-trick all the time. Dennis is known for his wise words and his wonderful play. Well, probably the easiest of the chances there for Van Nistelrooy.
Celtic move from here back to the SPL and a fixture against Kilmarnock that you'll be able to see on Sky Sports 1 Saturday at 5:30.
Well, I think Kilmarnock will be hoping that Celtic are a bit worn out by this game tonight.
And a reminder of the Charity Shield, Sky Sports 2, Sky Sports Extra. Liverpool, of course, against Manchester United. Millennium Stadium, Cardiff. 1 o'clock start for us on August the 12th. Craning. goes Brown. Brian, it's been so eventful, and your baptism as a co-commentator.
Yeah, it's been. It could have been a better game, really. When you say as a testimonial, it could have gone either way, but there's been so many things to talk about. It's been exciting. I can hardly catch my breath at times.
One thing I was going to ask you was for your tribute to Ryan Giggs, and in between Manchester United trying to equalise here and Celtic trying to prevent that happening, maybe you could just share your thoughts on Ryan.
Well, I mean, he's been a wonderful player, wonderful tribute, wonderful player, great person. As you mentioned earlier, conducts himself very well, speaks well now. He's matured into a smashing lad. And at 27 in his professional terms, he's achieved an awful lot. Hopefully he can go on and keep doing that.
And he seems very happy to keep doing it for Manchester United.
Well, he loves Manchester, he loves living in Manchester. All his friends are here, his family. He's very proud to play for Manchester United, having spent a lot of his time living here.
Approaching 450 official games for the club, 90 goals.
Well, it'd be nice this season to see him chalk up his 100th goal. That would be a tremendous effort by him.
York. Giggs, delightful touch. York, Van Nistelrooy. But, well, it would round the evening off if this period of swift and slick passing leads to a Manchester United equaliser. Giggs. Is it going to be Ryan Giggs? Celtic say no, not that time. York wins it back. In steps Butt. Sylvester is there. Moravchik, not known for his defending, but he was trying to keep Manchester United at bay. Now York. Decision is a corner.
I think in that situation there, you look for the referee to be thinking about it as a testimonial game, maybe give a penalty. You've seen them and given there.
Instead of maybe taking a penalty, Giggs is now taking a corner.
And that's a foul.
There was all sorts of pushing and shoving, not just around where Mike Dean is pointing from, but Van Nistelrooy was in with Gould, the goalkeeper, as well. Well, the other big issue that we haven't touched on, Brian, and as an employee at Manchester United, I won't involve you in this, but you're going to have to live with it for the next year. Who is going to be the next manager of Manchester United? Of course, Martin O'Neill has been mentioned in dispatches. He's pledged his loyalty to Celtic, including some of his own money, if you believe newspaper reports today, investing in the club. But that will be a talking point over the next, well, I guess 9 or 10 months till we're told, and Sir Alec moves from the main man to the man of consultancy. You're going to keep your silence on that.
He's done all right, though, wasn't he, as a manager? Not too bad tonight.
Oh, almost for Cantona. And Giggs! Oh, it could be the final kick of the match. Not the equalising goal for Manchester United. Well, on the subject of Sir Alec Ferguson, wise words from him earlier tonight, saying that this could be the greatest occasion at Old Trafford. Possibly an overstatement, but you know what he was getting at 90 minutes.
Well, I think it's been proven nearly correct, isn't it? It was 4-3, wonderful game. A good workout for both teams. Great atmosphere. And as I said earlier, a wonderful tribute to Ryan.
He doesn't like losing, and as an ex-Rangers man, he won't like losing to Celtic. There'll be 1 or 2 points, I'm sure, made in quieter moments about maybe the nature of the defending at times. haven't lost yet. There's still time, but the final whistle does go. A night when Manchester United paid tribute to the service of a truly talented performer in Ryan Giggs. A night where the Manchester United newcomers played their part with 2 goals for Van Nistelrooy and 1 for Juan Sebastian Veron, but those goals weren't enough against a truly committed Celtic. The manager only arrived in the nick of time. He's been doing transfer business today, but I bet he was glad that he did get here and did see the start, which was explosive for Celtic, with early goals from Sutton and from Lennon. Lambert scored before half-time, where it was 3-1. Moravcik, one of the several Celtic substitutes, also producing a party piece from a free kick. But it's primarily, as Eric Cantona would recognise, about Ryan Giggs, who is going to take the microphone and say his thanks tonight very shortly. Quite a night.
I'd just like to say a few thank yous for the people who made this happen tonight. Martin O'Neill and all his staff and all the players. And the Celtic fans as well. I'd also like to thank my family who have stood by me through everything. I'd also like to thank the gaffer and all the staff. I'd like to thank all the players as well. We've had a hard trip to the Far East, and for them to perform like that tonight, it's brilliant. Last of all, I'd like to thank you, the fans, showing your appreciation tonight. I promised myself I won't get emotional, but it's hard not to. Thanks a lot for all your support over the last 10 years, and I'll try to play my best for you for the rest of my career. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Fantastic words from Ryan Giggs. A true superstar here at Old Trafford, and a man who's grown into that status. Don't forget, Soccer Saturday for the fastest score updates and results service. Saturday from 4 this week on Sky Sports 1, keeping you up to date with your team week by week. Scottish.
Not really feeling nervous, but tonight I was nervous. It's the most nervous I've ever been.
And did I detect a bit of emotion in your speech there at the end? What was that all about?
Well, the lads were asking me how are you going to feel, and I said, well, I don't know until it actually happens. But just seeing the fans here and the cheer my name, yeah, I mean, it was very emotional. And
was it just like old times to see Eric Cantona out there with you?
Yeah, I mean, it was tremendous. You know, I asked Eric to come over and play whatever part he wanted to, and he said he'd play. So yeah, I mean, it's tremendous because Eric was a great player.
On a serious note, what did you make of the new signings contribution?
Well, I think they showed some great touches. Obviously, they scored the goals as well. Juan's goal.
Martin, you must have enjoyed your role as party pooper this evening.
It was a great atmosphere without a doubt, and a great game for us as well too, you know, because We've got an important game against Ajax coming up. Bit of European experience there tonight will have done the lads no harm at all. Massively big clubs, and you see the sort of here Manchester United now have been doing it for over a decade, and I think if you're a club worth your salt at all, that's what you're trying to aspire to. It's hellish difficult, but that's where you have to go to.
I understand you've been a very busy man today. What can you tell us about the signing of John Hartson? Where have you got to so far?
Well, he's up there. I met him just for a moment or two before I got a late plane down here. And so at this minute, I couldn't tell you any more, but I should have some news. Unfortunately, probably too late for you.
Coy as ever. Because of his medical history, any concerns there, or do you expect him to pass it?
I expect everything to be okay.
Okay, and also we understand Steve Guppy as well has come to Celtic. Is that correct?
Stevie is coming up, and he will do a medical in the morning, and if that goes all right, I hope he will sign also.
One last thing, Matt Elliott, are you going to pursue your interest in him, or is that over now?
Oh, Leicester City have turned down the offer, and that's it.
Okay, well done tonight.
Thank you very much.
Is he a potential Manchester United manager of the future for you, Gary?
He's certainly got all the credentials. He's proved himself, obviously, at Celtic. He's proved himself at Leicester. I'm sure he's going to be one of the names at the top of the list.
What about his statement of ambition tonight for the season to come for Celtic, Lee? Were you impressed by what they put on the park tonight?
Yeah, I thought they did very well. Obviously, the two weeks ahead of Man United fitness-wise, but I thought they defended well, very organised, and they scored 4 goals at Old Trafford.
Manchester United remain the model for the rest, but do you finally, the penny has dropped, they know what they've got to do to get right up there again?
Well, they've showed no fear tonight. I mean, that's a big part, and as I said earlier, they're playing with a lot of confidence. There's nothing going to give you more than that than winning your own championship, and they've got it in abundance, obviously.
Another of the stars of the night, Ruud van Nistelrooy, all £19 million worth of him.
Good. Yeah, of course, with this atmosphere you enjoy it, but when you're 2-0 down, 4 minutes played, then you think, what's happening here, you know? And but after, you know, we started playing and we came back 2-1, and right away came the third of Celtic, and yeah, that killed us, I think.
In some ways, was it emotional for you? I mean, your protracted transfer, a year wait, the injury, but to finally get out there, how good did that feel?
Ah, perfect. When you walk out the tunnel here and you see all the people, it's fantastic. And then you know what where you did it for. And my dream came true today to play at Old Trafford and score 2 goals. Unfortunately for Ryan, we couldn't win for him, but
in whose honour it had been played. Phil Edwards, Sky Sports.
I'd just like to say a few thank yous for the people who made this happen tonight. Martin O'Neill and all his staff and all the players.
Move to Celtic. Hartson has agreed personal terms with the Scottish champions after Coventry accepted an undisclosed offer for the Welsh international striker.
Another season, another club for John Hartson at Celtic Park to become Martin O'Neill's record signing.
How are you feeling at this time? We're back here tomorrow. Yeah, I'm excited about it. Hopefully, yeah, I'm hopeful.
Hartson was asked the same questions last September at the other side of Glasgow, but the Welsh international failed to win a move from Wimbledon to Ibrox because doctors there pointed to a lack of fitness. Whilst Rangers and Tottenham were put off by medical reports, Coventry City ignored them, and Hartson's goals almost got Gordon Strachan out of trouble. Celtic looked set to follow Coventry's lead and take a risk on a natural goal scorer. As well as Hartson, Celtic are hoping to complete the surprise signing of St Johnstone's utility player Mohamed Silla for a fee of around £600,000 and just in time for clearance to play Ajax in next week's Champions League qualifiers. If all goes according to plan, John Hartson will be a Celtic player before tomorrow's European Champions League signing deadline. However, he won't be celebrating his good luck until all the formalities have been completed. A lesson he's learned from bitter experience. David Tanner, Sky Sports.
So Hartson on the verge of signing.
Tell us about the signing of John Hartson. Where have you got to so far?
Well, he's up there. I met him just for a moment or two before I got a late plane down here, And so at this minute, I couldn't tell you any more, but I should have some news. Unfortunately, probably too late for you.
Coy as ever. Because of his medical history, any concerns there, or do you expect him to pass it?
I expect everything to be okay.
Okay, and also we understand Steve Guppy as well has come to Celtic. Is that correct?
Stevie is coming up, and he will do a medical in the morning, and if that goes all right, I hope he will sign also.
One last thing, Matt Elliott, are you going to pursue your interest in him, or is that over now?
Oh, Leicester City have turned down the offer, and that's it.
After agreeing terms yesterday, the Welsh international striker has cost around £6.5 million, while Guppy's moved from Leicester for £700,000.
John Hartson, Steve Guppy, the world wants to know, are you Celtic players?
Yes, I am anyway. I think Steve is as well, but I'm absolutely delighted now. It's all done and dusted, and I'm looking forward to getting started tomorrow.
Steve, long talks today at Celtic Park.
That's right, it's been a long old day. I'm just can't wait to get cracking now and get these things over and done with and get playing hopefully.
So the official signing, the official press conference, should I say, should take place Friday, John, yeah?
Well, that's what we're led to believe, you know. I think so. We'll just get in tomorrow, and we've met the boys today and everything, and they're a great bunch of lads, and we've been with the manager and the staff all day, and as Stevie said, it's been a bit of a long 2 days really getting it all finalised, but these things have to be done, and I'm just ecstatic by it all really. I'm really looking forward to getting going.
You must be over the moon because, of course, we remember you were here in Glasgow and it looked as if you were joining Rangers, and then that fell through. So coming back and joining the other side of the old firm, that must give you huge pleasure, does it?
Well, what gives me the most pleasure, I think, is the black mark that was hanging over me in terms of my medical sort of side of things, and I've played, I think it's 30 or 40 games now since the operation I had almost 2 years ago. So I've proved that my knee's fine and my fitness is good. I've had a month's pre-season work with Coventry, you know, prior to coming up here. So I'm ready to play now. So, as I said, that's what pleases me most really about coming through the medical and joining Celtic. The fact that I nearly went to Rangers, it was one of them things, and I'm just delighted now to be a Celtic player.
I have to tell you, John, that the Coventry chairman hasn't been too praiseworthy of you, saying that to a large extent you betrayed Coventry and Gordon Strachan. What would you say to that?
No, well, I said to the chairman that I was fully committed to staying at Coventry, I know, and I was, but the fact is that Celtic have come in, and it's a different ball game, and the manager Gordon told me himself how big Celtic was, and I don't think if you ask any of the players and anybody in football, I'm sure nobody will begrudge me, you know, getting this move up here. You know, and I'm sure if you ask the Coventry players, you know, if it was on the other foot, I'd say the same about, you know, one of my fellow Coventry players. I'd say, well, good luck to him, you know, and I'm sure that's what they're saying about me, really. But I'm not going to say anything about the chairman. He paid my wages, and he's a great guy, and I just wish him all the best.
What about yourself, Steve? Rejoining forces with Martin O'Neill, who obviously you rate highly as a coach.
That's right, you know, I had 4 happy years at Leicester, and then 5 years at Wycombe before that. So. He knows what he's getting, so hopefully I can do well for him.
You saw the Celtic support, no doubt, John, at Old Trafford during the week there for Giggs' testimonial. You see the reaction in the street there. Yeah. Celtic really on a high right now, aren't they?
Oh, they really are, yeah, and you know, it's a different world, as you've said, and all I can say is that I'm ecstatic, I'm excited to be here, and I just can't wait to get going. And you know, the fans are there today, and I just can't wait to meet them all really and show them what I can do. You
saw all the supporters outside Celtic Park finally today. I know you're both in a hurry. They were clamouring for you to sign, and you have signed. Through Sky Sports now, what would your message be to these supporters?
Well, what would my message be? I don't know really, just that I'm really happy to be here, and obviously I want to thank Martin O'Neill for giving me this opportunity to come and play for such a big and such a great club really, and I'll do my best. That's all I can say, really.
What about yourself, Steve?
Yeah, well, I'm under no illusions. It's going to be hard to get in a team like Celtic, because after especially what they've achieved last year. So just going to come here, give it my best crack, and I'll certainly be giving it my best effort to hope I can do well.
It's taken its time, but you're in Glasgow and you're Celtic players. John and Steve, thanks.
Thanks.
Massive club and been brilliant last year, so hope we're looking forward to it.
And then 4 hours later he returned, but still no confirmation of the signing from inside the club. Coventry's John Hartson is the big money signing arousing most curiosity. £6 million has been agreed for the tenacious Welshman, who just 2 weeks ago said he wanted to...
Hartson over his £6.5 million move from Coventry. Sky Blues chairman Brian Richardson has hit out at the Glasgow Giants, but Martin O'Neill rubbished the claims as he paraded his trio of new signings.
Celtic held their own version of new faces as John Hartson, Steve Guppy and Momo Silla trained with the Scottish champions for the first time, with Martin O'Neill issuing a diplomatic rebuttal of Coventry chairman Brian Richardson's claim that Hartson had been tapped.
If Brian wants to go back over the sequence of events and find out who made the initial phone call in the first place, then he might revisit what he was saying.
The Welsh international insists he leaves Coventry on good terms and with the good wishes of the manager.
I spoke to Gordon Strachan last night, and he was disappointed, obviously, with the outcome that I've left. But he told me himself, you know, 2 or 3 weeks ago when they were having talks, that how big Celtic were. Obviously, he played against Celtic many times when he was at Aberdeen, and he said it was a massive club, and you know he thought I'd do well here, and he wished me all the best.
At £750,000, Steve Guppy joins Martin O'Neill for the third time in his career. But he knows the Celtic boss well enough to know he won't be guaranteed a place.
Don't come to a club of this size and walk straight in, you know, especially after what they achieved last year with the treble and what have you. I know it's a great opportunity for me, and probably one of the biggest tests in my career, and it will be a hard task to get into this team, but I'm up for the challenge.
Celtic's move for St Johnstone's Mohamed Silla was the more surprising of the three, but O'Neill reckons he can make a similar impact to Didier Agat.
Didier Agat came here, people expecting, perhaps maybe even Didier, expecting to be a bit part player, and he's been absolutely fantastic. And Momo knows exactly that is there for him. He's got great natural talent, and he just wants to go and try and get himself into the side, and then try and stay there.
A good week then for Celtic and their three new boys, who know the serious work starts at Kilmarnock on Saturday. Davy Provan, Sky Sports.
So Martin O'Neill's more than happy with his signings, and if his history is anything to go by, Steve Guppy could prove to be the biggest bargain of all. His appearances were limited last season, but the season before, when O'Neill was still in charge at Filbert Street, the Opta-Stats rated Guppy as the Premiership's most effective winger. He saw off the line.
Champions were guilty of tap.
The net result of Martin O'Neill's work in the transfer market, a treble signing with Steve Guppy, Momo Silla and John Hartson wearing the hoops. Brian Richardson has accused Celtic of tapping the player. O'Neill believes Richardson should reconsider the facts. Hartson is used to controversy, now a Celtic player, but only a failed medical denied him joining Rangers last season. A fact he believes the Parkhead fans will forgive and forget.
At the time I was excited about going to Rangers. You know, it didn't materialise basically because they felt my knee wasn't right. And I went back to the Premiership, to Wimbledon, and I just carried on and got my head down and got going again. And that was it really, so I'm not concerned about how the fans will be, because I think they'll be fine anyway, because they know I'm at Celtic now and I'm absolutely delighted to be here.
For winger Steve Guppy, it's a return to working for Martin O'Neill and alongside former Leicester teammate Neil Lennon.
I've had the best years of my
St Johnstone's Momo Silla comes into the Celtic squad.
Neil has Bobby Pettit available for the game in Amsterdam, while new signing Steve Guppy is set for a place on the bench.
It was an early start for Celtic as they flew out of Glasgow for Amsterdam, and an appointment with old European adversaries Ajax, with the prize for qualification to the group stages an estimated £10 million.
The revenue is phenomenal. It's where all the teams that consider themselves big clubs want to be. Ajax have been that big club as well too. They won the European Cup about 5 or 6 years ago, so it's every bit as important to them as it is to us, but we'll be going for it.
The good news for the Scottish champions is that Bobby Pettit has declared himself fit, but every one of the Celtic squad knows that only their best will do over the 2 legs.
No, we really hard it. The city team, everybody's thinking we're going to get through this, but we'll give it our best, but you just never know what will happen.
It's going to be a difficult game.
Ajax is a quality team, even though maybe they haven't had the results they wanted in the late years, but Ajax is always going to be Ajax.
8,000 Celtic supporters are heading to Holland, the biggest away support the Amsterdam Arena will ever have witnessed for a European tie, with the manager convinced that Celtic will score.
I think we're always capable of scoring a goal. I always believe that every single time we play. And in the sort of form that Sutton and Larsson are in just at this minute, I would fancy us to get a goal, but I mean, easier said than done.
And it's to the
Scottish champions face a real test, but Martin O'Neill says his players can get the right first leg result.
I think we're always capable of scoring a goal. I always believe that every single time we play. And in the sort of
stuff in football, yeah.
Celtic fan?
Yeah, Celtic fan, yeah. I used to go years before I'd win the money, but I stopped a wee bit when I started.
Zurich, and a lot of people would reckon it's time Celtic delivered on the big stage. An early free kick opportunity for them. Johan Mjalby has gone forward to support Chris Sutton, a Gat in the box, Larsson and Valhaeren as well. Bobby Petta is there, but he looks as if he's going to leave it to Neil Lennon. An early test of the Ajax defence. Firmly headed away by Christian Chivu, the Romanian captain, only 20. And big roar going round the arena as Ajax mount their first attack. That's aimed at Ikedia, the little Nigerian. Back with Chivu. Breaking forward, Mido, the Egyptian. Not too troublesome for the Celtic defence, played away by Tom Boyd and flipped out by Didier Agat. That's a useful ball in. Good delivery on the cross ball, and that was Nikos Maklas, the Greek international, with the header.
Yeah, one thing's for sure, Rob, if they get balls into the box, Maklas is a lethal finisher. I think he was a golden boot about 2-3 years ago, so he's a lethal finisher, and if they can get that type of quality into the box, then Celtic certainly will have a game in their hands.
34 goals in 32 games he scored for Vitesse Arnhem a couple of seasons back, which won him that Golden Boot award, and he is a clear threat. 44 times capped by the Greek national side. That was Chivu winning the header against Agat. Lennon under pressure, plays the ball away to Tom Boyd. Boyd, who hasn't had any first-team action for Celtic this season, but Martin O'Neill untroubled about the prospect of slotting him straight back in place of Olivier Tebeli, who played in the back three at the weekend. Johan Mjalby, one of the cornerstones of the Celtic defence. His throw aimed at the head of Henrik Larsson, but he was being watched very closely by Christian Chivu. Paul Lambert, who surprised even himself at the start of the season with his goal touch. Good skills from Larsson. A chance for Petta, possibly, but very quickly off his line was Fred Grimm, the Amsterdammer. Good safe hands. That's given away to Neil Lennon. Chris Sutton trying to thread that through for Henrik Larsson. Yakubu, the interceptor. Chivu, awkward ball. I don't think he practiced that one on the training ground, Tom Boyd. Controlled between his knees, but it was effective. Rob Douglas with the clearance, and Chris Sutton sent sprawling by Chivu's challenge. Free kick. Celtic settling to the task. Agat pushed that too far ahead, but he'll be looking to ask some serious questions early on, Eric, of Chivu.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I think that's the key to the game at this moment in time. It's the two wide players. It's whether Petta and Agat can push up quickly and get possession of the ball, which obviously will take their two wide players back, or will the Ajax manage to keep possession and get their wide players on the game. So it's a difficult, interesting, tactical one at this moment in time.
Trabelsi, the Tunisian, played up, and useful control as well from Maklas. But again, a poor pass, hands possession back to Celtic, but Henrik Larsson couldn't keep it. Yakubu, one of two Nigerians in the Ajax side tonight, and that's Petri Passanen, the Finnish international. It's a multinational setup at Ajax, only two Dutch players starting the match for them, and an average age of 22. Quite incredible at this sort of level, but some impressive youngsters they have, including this man Shivu. Van der Vaart, young Dutchman, he's just 18. Yakubu. Good run from Ikedia, but couldn't quite catch it.
No, he looks an exceptional talent, absolutely lightning with the ball, both at his feet and without the ball. And at times there, once or twice, he's been 1v1 with Valgaeren, which obviously I'm sure Celtic will try and quickly get cover across to him, but he looks a real threat offensively, but certainly when he loses the ball, Robbie doesn't look too interested in getting it back.
Nearly 6 minutes gone, the BBC live match. Ajax 0, Celtic 0 in the Amsterdam Arena. Yakubu. Muscled out of it there by Chris Sutton. Keen to play football out from the back, the Nigerian, but Chris Sutton wasn't having it. Lambert and Lennon combine, they do it so well. Sutton, good touch. That's useful. And Grim panicked. Peta! Celtic are ahead! The Dutchman puts them in front in Amsterdam. A bad mistake by goalkeeper Grim, living up to his surname. 1-0 Celtic.
Oh yeah, it's a wonderful turn from Chris Sutton. He took the ball in so well, protected it so well. Here we see it here, Rob, his first touch is excellent. He knows where he wants to put it. Lovely clip. Goalkeeper panics completely. He could let that go through, but what a wonderful composed finish by Bobby Pepper, and what a wonderful start for Celtic.
Just placed into the roof of the net by Bobby Petto. Such a miserable season last season. Injury denied him a lot of action, but that is a sweet moment as he returns to his native country and fires Celtic ahead. And Fred Grimm will not be too keen to watch back the videotape of that moment as he palmed the ball straight into the path of Peta, but it was a cool and a clinical finish, and that gives Celtic the start they dreamed of. Neil Lennon in possession, trying to pick out Larsson. And the songs being sung in Amsterdam are Celtic songs. Rafael van der Vaart for Ajax to Christian Shivu. Peeling off was Nikos Maklas, waiting for the pass to reach him. Johan Mjalby was in the way. Yakubu. That skids away from Trabelsi. Stayed very cool, the central defender for Ajax, but maybe a bit too casual there with the pass.
Yeah, bit of slack passing there, Robert. It'll be really interesting now to see how they react to going a goal down. We certainly knew that if they'd scored the goal quickly, they'd got the confidence up, they would have certainly been an exceptional team. The questions will now be asked of their mentality, and let's see how they answer. It's very important now that Celtic can keep possession of the ball, at least for the next 10-15 minutes. Larsson obviously still a threat, but if we can get Lambert on the ball, then I'm sure he'll keep possession.
And Rob Douglas's towel getting him into a bit of bother with officialdom. He's being asked to remove it from the side netting, and that was the cause of that little delay. Much ado about not a lot. Sutton, who started the game so well for Celtic, and that was Daniel Cruz, Colombian youth international. He's just 20. I suppose the oddities about the Ajax team are the players of over 22, 23. They stick out, and Bobby Peta a standout for that 7th minute strike, which put Celtic in front. Yakubu with the clearance. Names like Cruyff and Kroll and Neeskens and Rijkaard and Van Basten and Bergkamp all echo around the memory banks of the Ajax fans, but it's a new era for them. They hope they're building towards something successful, and they've got an awful lot of talent here. But Celtic are hopeful that they can be good enough, experienced enough, strong enough to get through this qualifier which unlocks the door to the Champions League. Ajax, slipping and sliding. It is a surface which can cut up if the dampness gets in. There was talk about putting the roof on tonight in the event of rain, but as it is, it's bright and it's dry, and the roof is back. And the pitch open to the elements. It's been relayed 25 times since the stadium was built, and that's only 6 years ago, Eric. That's an amazing statistic, isn't it?
It certainly is. It's obviously it's a wonderful stadium, but I can imagine that there would be problems with the grass and getting natural light into it. But they seem to have remedied it. It's a wonderful, wonderful pitch this evening. We were down there earlier, and it certainly looks wonderful. So no excuses.
Van der Vaart with the throw, chested down by Maklas. Played wide by Yakubu to Ukedia. Tiny figure, great balance and control. The pressure being applied to Daniel Cruz by Bobby Petta. Back it goes all the way to goalkeeper Grimm, and that might be a name which spawns a few headlines in the morning papers, were the scoreline to stay like this. Yakubu again, it's poor distribution. This hit though by Valharan, helping him out, his defensive buddy Johan Mjalby. Back it goes to Rob Douglas, and no threats so far in that Celtic rear guard. 11 minutes gone. Sutton loses it. Shibu gets it back from Mido. Good movement up front from Maklas. Back from Lambert.
That's a wonderful play from Paul Lambert there, getting back very quickly to help out the back three, and any lack of touch by the striker, the Ajax striker, he's there to mop it up and quickly regain possession for Celtic.
Henrik Larsson, we haven't seen too much of him so far, but that's always a dangerous phrase to use, because he's almost at his most dangerous when he's at his most quiet. Agat. Bit of wrestling going on to try to deny him the space he was looking for in the wide position. Mido, the Egyptian, 18 certainly doesn't look it. He scored half a dozen goals in Ajax's last warm-up match in the last midweek. Sutton's layoff intercepted by Shibu. Yakubu, Ukedia against Valharan. And Jos Valharan will hope that he can catch that. He's quick enough to get there to prevent that going behind for a corner kick, and he's given a passing option by Neil Lennon. Petta's lost it. Nikos Maklas has it. Petta working hard, adding industry to his early goal touch. Henrik Larsson was knocked over by Passanen, free kick. Dutch fans don't fancy that decision, giving against their young central defender. If you've just joined us, you'll see the scoreline. Ajax 0, Celtic 1. Bobby Petta. Sutton's touch. Larsson, instant control. Sutton again trying to drive his way into the box. It breaks back for Henrik Larsson, waiting for his moment to lay the ball off to Petta. McNamara into the penalty box. He's got some room as well. If Petta can find him. In goes Sutton. Lost his footing at the key moment. Kept in by Agat. That's a throw of Shibu. The pace and the power of Didier Agat is such an important weapon to Celtic. Hesitation from Lambert and allowing Mido the chance to clear. Celtic keeping Ajax hemmed in.
Celtic have started very, very positively. Again, Bobby Petta showing just how quick he has. Wonderful quick feet and a great delivery. And I think if Sutton hadn't been impeded just slightly, there's another goal chance for Celtic.
It's a goal kick off Didier Agat. I'm sure Martin O'Neill might be charged one of these days with daylight robbery for what he paid Hibs to get Agat to Celtic. I think £35,000 was the initial fee, and to say he's blossomed is putting it mildly, and Celtic now with a big asset on their hands. He's putting pressure on Shivu. Celtic doing well at closing down, shutting the space. Neil Lennon prominent there, and Chris Sutton using his physical presence to great advantage there against Yakubu. Ajax haven't been allowed to settle by Celtic. That's been crucial so far. Lennon trying to create. Out wide is Agat. Useful ball in. It was curling away from Grimm and headed behind by Pasana.
Yeah, wonderful delivery against Celtic. That's twice now in the last 2 to 3 minutes that Celtic have had very, very good crosses into a very dangerous area. Grimm, as the goalkeeper, couldn't possibly come into that area. And if we can continue with that service and that type of delivery, then Celtic will certainly score again.
And they have a set-piece opportunity here. McNamara and Peta over the ball. Bobby Peta's cross is wicked. It's off the crossbar. It's palmed away by Grimm. Ajax survive, and Celtic within inches of going 2 ahead.
Yeah, very, very close again there. Just as we said prior to that, a great delivery into the box. Larsson getting the flick on it. Didn't quite go over the line. Lovely glancing header, but that's a real threat, and they really are causing them problems with Sutton and Larsson's ability in the air.
Larsson, this time no challenge on Grimm, and he's able to grab it. But he is a one-rattled goalkeeper. After only 16.5 minutes, he's been busy and beaten once already. Free kick given against the late Celtic challenge there, quickly taken. Yalby's clearance, Larsson's layoff. McNamara to Peta, switch sides, having come over to take the corner kick on the right. He stayed on this side. 3 Ajax players around him. Back to Agat, further back to Yalby. Good header from Shivu. Yalby cleverly directing that to Agat. Yakubu got there before Larsson. But Ajax unable to be creative in these early stages. It's Celtic who are causing all the problems.
Yeah, Celtic are looking very, very comfortable, Rob, at this moment in time. Ajax still have a threat, and it's important that they continue to be disciplined defensively, Celtic, but they're doing that very well, and what they are doing is pressing the game wonderfully. They're waiting to the right time. They know Ajax want to play out from the back. They're allowing them possession just in the mid area there, and then suddenly they're all pushing forward. Lennon, McNamara and the wing-backs are pushing up, so it's a very disciplined and very organised defensive structure, and a very good start for Celtic.
And maybe signs of the frustration setting in with Ajax, and that long ball played down the line, which sped away from the Ajax attackers, and they were unable to make anything of it. So still no test of the goalkeeping of Robert Douglas so far. As far as Celtic are concerned, long may that continue. Larsson was the target. Van der Vaart got his head to it. That was Lennon. Rafael van der Vaart again. And it's now with Tradelsi, the Tunisian. Useful long ball picking out Nikos Maklas. Great control on the chest. But there's experience and good reading of the game from Tom Boyd. Right place, right time. And you can see exactly why Martin O'Neill chose to pick him. Olivier Tebele, the player to miss out. He's been in the back three for Celtic's first 2 SPL games. Larsson. Drill ball to Agat. He's away from Shivu. Didier Agat has scored! It's 2-0 Celtic. 19 minutes gone. Superb pass from Larsson. Then it was down to sheer pace and precision on the finish. Grimm beaten for a second time.
Oh, again, great striking partnership. Sutton, wonderful layoff. Larsson, it's inch perfect into Agat's feet, and what wonderful pace to get in front of the defender, and a very composed finish. What a wonderful goal. Here we see him again, great pace, lifts his head, knows where he's going to put it, side foots it across the goalkeeper, and it's safely into the back of the net.
Real quality as well on that volleyed pass from Henrik Larsson, and then Shivu was a beaten man. You could see it in his face there. He just couldn't catch Agat. He had him for pace, and that was a very cool finish. Agat's criticised sometimes for the quality of his finishing. Mido for Ajax into the box, headed away by Neil Lennon. Ajax looking for a quick response, and say they're stunned is probably putting it mildly. Van der Vaart now on the ball. It's beyond Douglas, and Bobby Petta knew he couldn't take any chances. Ikedia was in behind him, and so he's nodded that behind, and Ajax have their first corner kick of the match. It's taken short, which pulls Bobby Petta out. Arveladze with a chance. Now it's Shivu, passed into the box. It's well defended as well. And it was Jos Valhaeren who was in the way. Vital bit of rock-solid defending from him, because there were 3 Ajax players around him. He got there first and forced the ball away.
Yeah, very good defending again. Everybody there back in numbers to defend the corner. The ball breaks out. There was a real threat from Shivu. Lovely touch to open up a shooting opportunity, but very, very quick defending, very brave defending from the 3 centre-backs, and they've managed to pressure the stroke.
It was a dangerous pass, and it played Jos Valhaeren right into trouble. He does well to recover, and he maybe does well too to escape a caution there, because I reckon he'd a handful of Ikedia's shirt initially after he slipped.
Yeah, he's just tried to turn inside. I mean, he knows where the man is, but Ikedia's all over the top of him here, and to be fair to Valhaeren, he does very, very well to recover the situation.
Mido's cross, but the young Egyptian will be disappointed with that. It's straight into the arms of Robert Douglas, and none of the Ajax frontmen able to get close enough to make a challenge. Chris Sutton, such a valuable player for Celtic so far in the match, doing a pound of work, and Ajax being pressured into making foul challenges like that one from Shivu on Larsson. Henrik Larsson was between Shivu and the ball, and he was simply flattened by the Romanian, and Celtic have the free kick approaching the midway point in the first half. Ajax 0, Celtic 2. Petta and Agat, and if you're putting on a wee bet, I don't know if the wager before the match had Celtic scored 2 goals, have been in favour of Petta and Agat. Not exactly the most prolific of marksmen, but 2 great finishes tonight.
No, you're absolutely right, Rob. They've been instrumental, both in terms of pushing Ajax back, pressing the ball, and to boot, they've given us a goal each, so it's absolutely wonderful start for both of them. And again, Agat really keen to get forward, and his pace is a real threat constantly for Ajax.
It's a great interception by Agat. Henrik Larsson's cross. Grimm again looking unsettled. McNamara forces it back and just trundles into the keeper's hands. But if Celtic can get more quality ball into the box, there can be more goals for them here in Amsterdam. That seems to be clear the way this first half has gone. But in saying that, they also want to keep the door shut at the other end. Rafael van der Vaart on the ball. Wide for Ikedia. Played in low, difficult bouncing ball. It came off the shins of Tom Boyd and spun back to goalkeeper Douglas. Missed by Valhaeren, but Tom Boyd was doing what he's paid for and covering in behind. Chris Sutton took a bang on the head in that challenge with Shivu. Larsson's layoff. Great awareness from Larsson of exactly where Didier Agat was. Slows it right down, but he's well capable of speeding it back up. Shivu comes out on top this time. That's cool defending. He was beaten all ends up when Agat scored. Beaten for pace. Free kick given against Boyd for the challenge on Nikos Maklas, the 28-year-old Greek striker. Arveladze, the Georgian, plays it wide for the overlapping Trabelsi. Ikedia with Valhaeren at his back. Cruz Daniel Cruz gets it back. Van der Vaart on his left foot, shot deflected. Mido! Good save, Robert Douglas. That could prove to be just as important as the 2 goals from Peta and Agat. He was well positioned and he beat the shot away from Mido. And a warning to Celtic that Ajax are on the way back. Shota Arveladze operating just behind the strikers, playing just off Matlas. Mido pushes the ball beyond Agat. That's great recovery from Didier Agat. He always is confident in his own mind that he has the pace to get back.
Yeah, here we see the chance, Rob. Great 1-2, nice build-up work. Miss-hit, lands at the feet of the Egyptian. He's tried to finish it in strength. It's a good strike. And Rob Douglas, great credit. He stood long enough to try and defect the shot away.
Mido, he looks a threat. And that's off Neil Lennon. Back for a throw, not the corner kick. An Egyptian youth international, Mido. Here he is again. Played that in first time, lofted it towards the far post. More in hope than expectation. And again, Douglas was untroubled. No Ajax challenge. Long ball downfield. Hassanin heads it away. Free kick given in favour of Arveladze. And he's in a hurry to get on with it. Ajax giving a lot of the ball to Mido. They see potential in what he can do down the left side. The Egyptian teenager. Hassanin. The Finn, Nigeria, Nikedia. Trabelsi heading for the byline. And that's a goal kick. And it's a long way back. The BBC live match in Amsterdam, and Adriaans, the Ajax head coach, could be happier. I think that's maybe putting it mildly. His side's 2-0 down, and he won't be at all impressed with the way they've defended. But you would have to hand Celtic a lot of credit for the way they've forced Ajax into errors.
Yeah, no doubt about it, but he'll be a very unhappy man. It's a disastrous start for Ajax. I just feel now that they don't have any leadership. They lack that leadership, that command, that experience to lift the squad, to lift the players now, and it doesn't seem to be coming from anywhere. A very young squad, and it's showing at this moment in time.
Lennon's free kick finds Chris Sutton. Henrik Larsson! Well, that's more than half a chance in Henrik Larsson's book, and he's disappointed that he couldn't have made more of that. Well set up by Sutton. And he's burst the net from just that sort of position before.
Yeah, that's certainly a chance that Henrik Larsson would put down in his book as a real chance. A difficult one to take. It's coming over his shoulder. He has to volley it, but a real other opportunity again there for Celtic, and they're going to create chances, and I think that we could be in for more goals.
Yakubu, Van der Vaart into the feet of Matlas, back for Arveladze. It slipped under his boot. Jackie McNamara was there. That's a heavy return pass from Sutton. Ajax have it back. Van der Vaart again. Mido. Now for Shivu. So impressive for Romania at Euro 2000. That's not impressive at all. The passing, which gives the ball away. Neat touch from Henrik Larsson. Driving forward from midfield, Paul Lambert. He was having his shirt held, and the Spanish referee, Mr. Nieto, waiting for an advantage, which wasn't forthcoming. So Celtic have a free kick. Just 1 minute short of the half hour. Things going better for Martin O'Neill than he could have dared hope. Bobby Peta, quick feet, good control. Valharan reacting quickly. Now Mjalby. Aimed at Larsson, chested down for Chris Sutton. Again, a good touch on the ball to keep possession. Sets up Didier Agat, and Sutton and Larsson head for the middle. There's Larsson. Yakubu unsettled by the presence of Sutton. Back for ajax. Powerfully hit cross. Wouldn't quite come down for Larsson. Yakubu forces it away, but only as far as Lennon and Lambert, and now Mjällby. Again, it's ajax. Chris Sutton trying to get on the end of it. Hassanin headed it clear. That's Boyd. Flipped back by Arveladze to Shivu. Ikedia peeling away to the wide position, picking up some room. Back goes Bobby Petta. Cruz, Van der Vaart, and Mido. Two Celtic players went for that. McNamara and Valharan. Lack of communication there, but it didn't cost Celtic that time. Yakubu to Trabelsi, 24-year-old Tunisian. Iketia, again in a threatening position, but his cross cut out by Tom Boyd. Not quite the delivery into the box he was looking for there. And Celtic coped pretty comfortably. Now they try to spark an attack. Lennon and Lambert setting up ajax. Lambert available again. McNamara. Jackie McNamara linking the play together. Mjällby's pass into the feet of Chris Sutton. McNamara was there, bursting through. Pace and power from him, but no free kick. Shivu twisting away from Sutton, back to Grimm. And I don't think the Ajax fans were feeling totally confident as he juggled the ball with his feet there on the goal line, because he's not had a pleasant evening so far.
No, it's been a bit of a disaster for him, and he now looks a bit shaky. Rob, any crosses that are coming into the box now, he's not keen to come to them. The defenders are not the biggest, and they have no confidence now in him, and it's he's really started very, very poorly. And now with the ball at his feet, he looked rather shaky, so it's there's certainly a possibility for Celtic.
Lennon squares it, Lambert slips, McNamara doesn't. A delicate chip through looking for Valharan. And that's an offside flag, which spares any blushes for Ajax this time. The scoreline from Ibrox is Rangers 0, Fenerbahce 0. Still square there, but just look at the scoreline here. Ajax 0, Celtic 2. First half goals from Bobby Petta and from Didier Agat. It's been a superb performance so far from Celtic. They'll hope to maintain this level, and they would certainly be hoping at this stage that there'll be more scoring opportunities coming along, because they really have had the Ajax defence struggling. Van der Vaart, the Dutch teenager. Shivu, Romanian skipper. He'd fired in that cross, but it's well away from Maklas. And Bobby Petta was able to turn the ball out of play. Van der Vaart, Hassanin, Ikedia, 2 against 1 wins it for Celtic. Neil Lennon in possession, and that's off the little Nigerian for a Celtic throw. Van der Vaart in the midfield for Ajax, Eric, and I think it's points off for the first one. I call him Van der Valk.
He is an absolutely fantastic football player. He's only 18 years of age, but he's standing head and shoulders above most of the other players in his own team at this moment in time, and he looks a wonderful prospect. He's got great vision, he's got a wonderful touch on the ball, and is so composed for a man or for a boy of his age.
There's Arveladze we saw there as well, the Georgian who's been in dispute with the club. He was refusing to sign a new contract, and he was frozen out of the first team picture until tonight, and he's suspicious that Ajax just want him back for this game, and there's going to be nothing really at the end of it as far as he's concerned. But he's back in his customary position, playing just off the front, and he is a definite threat for Celtic, and Martin O'Neill will know all about what he can do, an experienced Georgian international. It's good play from Paul Lambert, nipping the ball off the toes of Mido, but it's at the expense of a corner kick. with not much more than 10 minutes left in the first half. Concentration on the face of Rob Douglas. That's the man we've just been speaking about. Van der Vaart with the corner kick. It's flicked away by McNamara. Acadia onto it. And that's a forgettable effort at goal from him. It's been a miserable first half for Ajax. It's gone better than Celtic had dared hope, as I said, and well, it's the stuff that nightmares are made of, I think, for Co-Adrians.
Well, no doubt about it. You'll be sitting down there just wondering how he can turn this around. I don't think he's got any more experienced players on the bench. He may try and change the system, but the players that are out there are used to this system. But at this moment in time, they really do not seem to be threatening Celtic at all. And Celtic are looking very, very comfortable and becoming more and more comfortable as the game goes on.
Bobby Petta trying to wrestle himself clear of the challenge by Trabelsi. He couldn't do so, and a free kick is his. Another chance for Celtic to threaten. Valharan and Mjalby have gone forward to support Sutton and Larsson. In from Lennon, headed away by Shivu. Van der Vaart allowed to progress by Celtic, who now funnel back behind the ball. Cruz making the run, Agat making the challenge and wins it for Celtic. Chris Sutton reacting quickly. And now Agat stayed very cool in a cluttered midfield there, found Lennon. And that's a heavy challenge from Pasanen on Larsson. Didn't get the ball, he certainly got the Celtic striker. And Larsson is still on the ground, just getting back to his feet now. But that looked to be a challenge that went for the man rather than the ball, as Ajax contemplate a substitution. And the first half is not yet over. And Fury going now with the frustration for Ajax, reacting badly to decisions going against them.
Yeah, here we can see he does very well to win the ball. A bit of frustration, desperate to try and press the ball. And I think he actually comes round the side of McNamara there. So I think his frustration there was probably well guided.
Yep, a booking that Van der Vaart, by the looks of that, didn't deserve. But they certainly won't get themselves anywhere by tugging at the referee's shirt. It won't go down too well. Fred Grimm sprinting out to the edge of his penalty box before hurling the ball clear to Mido. Misjudgment by Mjalby, and now he's got a long chase back. Mido's cross picks out Ikeria. Celtic looking a little bit stretched, but he needed to get that controlled quickly and played in. Now Cruz. Good run from Daniel Cruz right into the danger area. A great cut out by Jos Valharan. Maklas was waiting, Arveladze was waiting, Mido was in the danger area as well. And Valharan so valuable there for Celtic. Four in the box for Ajax, two just outside. In from Van der Vaart, and out comes Rob Douglas to claim it. But what must be infuriating the Ajax coaches at the sideline is that there was no challenge there on the Celtic keeper.
No, it's a great take from Robert Douglas, but again, no real threat in the air. Reasonably well delivered ball at the time, but still there's no real threat in there for Ajax, and it's a comfortable take, and it was very unfortunate not to start an attack. Wonderful run for Henrik Larsson.
Ikedia again taking too long to get the ball under control, and that was all the encouragement Neil Lennon needed. Celtic have poured a lot of effort into this first half to go with the undoubted ability. And they've looked a very, very strong unit in the first half. Petri Pasanen played up to Nikos Maklas. Good control, good layoff. Ikedia cuts in, gets the break of the ball. Here's a chance for Ajax. It's Maklas. Douglas pans it away, but it's forced in by Arveladze. Ajax pull a goal back 6 minutes from half-time. And it's Shota Arveladze, the man who came in from the cold, and he's reawakened Ajax hopes.
Yeah, it was a wonderful burst of pace. A bit fortunate there, some slack defending from the Celtic players. Macklis turns. Douglas can only parry it to the side here. Wonderful turn for Macklis, doesn't quite catch it. Douglas stops it, might have hoped to get it further away, but good finishing, good following up from Aberladze, and that's the last thing Celtic needed just before half-time.
That could prove to be a real shot in the arm for Ajax, and immediately Rob Douglas gives the ball away with a poor kick-out. And Celtic will want to get themselves settled down and start playing the way they were playing. Tom Boyd ushered that ball behind, showed all his experience and know-how, and Rob Douglas being told to get on with the game. And I wonder if there's a question mark against the Celtic keeper that he didn't push that shot out wider rather than into the path of Aberladze for the goal.
Maybe was slightly surprised with how quickly Macklis turned and had the shot. He'd probably be a lot happier if it had gone slightly wider. He did get down to it. It was a difficult one to stop, but he might have wished that had gone slightly further wider.
That's all for after-match chat for now. Ajax back in the game at 2-1 down, and that's a scoreline which will sound a whole lot better to them than it did. Celtic 2-0 up and threatening to go further clear. Now just one goal the difference between these two, and Celtic certainly won't want to concede another one before half-time. They would have happily settled for any sort of lead going into the away dressing room at the interval. And there's a yellow card for Neil Lennon for that tug at the shorts. So a yellow card for either side now. Van der Vaart for Ajax and Lennon for Celtic.
Yeah, again, it's just frustration, Rob. He's lost possession of the ball carelessly. He's unhappy about doing that, and he's tried very hard to win the ball back. But Celtic still, I think, in control, but Ajax certainly coming into the game now that they scored that goal.
Macklis, who was instrumental in the goal which Ajax pulled back. It was his shot which was touched away by Douglas, and it was Aberladze who supplied the finishing touch. And now a set-piece situation of which Celtic will be wary, and Rob Douglas making sure that he's got everything right in front of him. Rafael van der Vaart is over the ball, and Petri Pasanen, the defender, is just behind him. It's a thin yellow line just inside the box for Celtic. Van der Vaart right into the wall, tries again, and this time with the right foot it flashed well wide. So that's well defended by Celtic, and disappointment for the youngster.
Yeah, good solid defending from the wall there, stood strong, hasn't clipped it as well as he liked. He's got a wonderful touch in the ball, and I'm sure that he would have liked to have at least tested Robert Douglas on that occasion.
A little bit of Greek back chat from Nikos Macklis. Douglas aims at Sutton. It was Mido who won the header. Paul Lambert. Mjalby. Henrik Larsson hanging in the air for the header. It breaks back to him as well off Yakubu. Valharan, Peta. It's a loose one from Jos Valharan. And Celtic don't really want to offer any encouragement to Ajax at this stage. Just a minute and a half of the regulation 45 left, but that's given away by Amido. Straight at Neil Lennon, a gap to Larsson. His pass blocked by Yakubu. And the Larsson studs were showing against Aberladze. Free kick. And it's the Georgian himself in possession. I gather we're having a few picture problems at the moment. We'll hope to get that sorted out. Van der Vaart gets it back. It's chipped over the top. Apologies again for the loss of pictures from Amsterdam. You can be sure that we're working on it as Celtic try to preserve their 2-1 lead with just 30 seconds left of the first half, plus any stoppage time to be added on. Neil Lennon to Johan Mjalby, played in field to Sutton, lays it off to Larsson, midway inside the Ajax half. Agat's cross is a clever one. A cross came to Rebelsi to cut out the danger for Ajax, and now they push forward, but it's a poor pass out of defence from Petri Pasanen, and it's gone out of play, and Celtic have a throw. 2 minutes to be added, and we've now played exactly 45. 2 minutes between us and the half-time whistle. Celtic in possession with Mjalby on the halfway line, played forward towards Larsson. It breaks back to Daniel Cruz for Ajax in the middle of the midfield, plays it wide to the overlapping fullback Trabelsi. Acadia, but he can't keep possession. There's a stiff challenge from Neil Lennon, wins it for Celtic and gets a return pass from Bobby Petta. Played in field to Jos Valharen, a short pass to Paul Lambert, back to Valharen, charging through the centre circle, plays it wide left to Henrik Larsson. Valharen and Sutton waiting in the middle. There's Chris Sutton! Saved by Fred Graham, just as Sutton looked likely to make it 3. Couldn't really have done more. Sutton drove the shot in. It was a reflex stop by the goalkeeper, but Celtic now threatening again with Agat. Turned back for Larsson. It's a corner kick, and just ahead of the half-time whistle, Celtic so close here to going 3-1 ahead. That's a great stop from Sutton's effort.
Yeah, it's a wonderful break forward from Valharen, lovely ball in from Larsson. Sutton can do no more, he's got on target, and perhaps Grimm is made up from 1 or 2 of his earlier errors.
That's a brilliant save when you look at it there by the goalkeeper. Here's the corner kick, played in by Bobby Petta. Cleared, but only as far as Lennon. We've played 100 seconds of added time, and that's flicked away by Pasanen. And a little bit of respite for the Ajax defence, which has been seriously stretched in the first half. They've struggled to cope with what Celtic have thrown at them, and what they've thrown at them has been a top quality performance. Valharen's throw, Sutton's head, Larsson trying to guide that back to McNamara, almost found its way through, and that's half-time in the Amsterdam arena, and the big cheer is from the Celtic supporters.
Second half commentary of Ajax versus Celtic from the Amsterdam arena with Eric Black and Rob McLean.
The job is only half done. I'm sure Steve Walford and John Robertson and Martin O'Neill have been making that perfectly clear to the Celtic players during the interval. It's been a wonderful first half performance from the Scottish champions, but they really need to produce the same again in the second 45. They'll not want to be rolling out any sort of welcome mat to Ajax to allow them back into the game. Arveladze having given them a little injection of hope towards the tail end of that first half, and there is the substitution we were expecting late on in the first half, and it's Ibrahimovic who's come on despite his surname. He's a Swedish international. He's only 19. You wouldn't really expect him to be much older than that, such as the age average of this amazing Ajax side. He's a new signing from Malmo, and when you hear that they've paid £5 million for a 19-year-old, well, maybe you know all about the sort of quality that he has and the sort of potential he has as well. He's a big, muscly striker, despite the fact that he's still a teenager, and he's possibly a new problem Eric Celtic will have to contend with.
Yeah, he's a very, very skillful player. He's a wonderful attacking player, but it'll take him time to settle in, hopefully. They haven't, I think they've changed the structure slightly, Rob. They're going with 2 players through the middle this time with Maklas and Ibrahimovic. So we'll just see how they settle down the first 5 minutes, but yeah, he's one to watch, no doubt about it.
First involvement for Mido. His pass slipping away from Daniel Cruz, the Colombian, but did well to keep possession under pressure from Neil Lennon. Mido again, and out wide Shivu. Early ball in, chested back towards Mido. Celtic trying to stay firm at the back. That's a useful ball in from Mido, and well, Robert Douglas did well, because that would have surprised many. He just whipped that in, and on this sort of surface that could have been deadly.
No, that's a very good take from Robert Douglas. He'll be happy with that. He didn't even look Mido there. He's eliminated the full-back. I think it was Agat, and he's whipped the ball in very quickly.
Chance for Henrik Larsson. So close to 3-1 Celtic. Just 80 seconds gone in the second half, and again it's bad defending from Pesanen, a dreadful mistake. And Henrik Larsson steering his shot wide of the post. He'll be disappointed not to have stretched Celtic's lead.
Yeah, he'll be very disappointed. Very good though, Larsson, very persistent. He's waiting on any mistake that might be made by the defenders. Presents the opportunity to him there, and he's very unfortunate just to pull it by the far post.
Good play from Yakubu. Ibrahimovic threatening against Boyd. That's a good effort from Arveladze at the edge of the area. And that's cheered up the Ajax supporters. Dangerous coming onto the ball, the Georgian.
Yeah, he's coming from deeper, Rob, so he's going to get presented with several shots from maybe outside the area. Ibrahimovic again showing his strength, his touch, linking very well with Arveladze there. But again, Robert Douglas very well positioned and comfortably taking the shot.
Bobby Petta, the man who opened the scoring after just 7 minutes, chips that forward to Henrik Larsson. Two players trying to get to Larsson, neither could manage. Now Sutton and Didier Agat had found himself an awful lot of room wide right. Had Sutton been able to move that one on, but it's Ajax in possession with Ibrahimovic. Cleared by Mjalby. Van der Vaart. Mido. Mjalby stumbles. And back goes Paul Lambert to shut off the route, or to attempt to. But Mido still managed to squeeze that into the box. Not so troublesome this time for Douglas. But they're a talented team on the offensive, Ajax. That is clear, and Celtic will have to be very watchful. Van der Vaart to Shibu. The Ajax fans trying to get their team going. It was a stuttering show for much of the first half from them, and the quality on that pass from Yakubu to Ibrahimovic, not good enough. Skidded away. His first name is Zlatan, and that's the name he wears on the back of his shirt. And Co-Adriaan's hoping for better in the second period from his team, the former Ajax youth coach. He was away at Willem II, took them into the Champions League, and now back as first team boss at Ajax. Grimm's clearance. Arveladze was there, with bags of time for Johan Mjalby to make the clearance a good one. Pesanen, Shivu, infield to Van der Vaart. Trabelsi. And again, the pass flicked away by McNamara, finding Lambert, Lennon. Paul Lambert couldn't control that one from his central midfield mate. And now Arveladze. The Egyptian Mido. Fired in again low. Cleared by Mjalby. Flicked away by Petta. McNamara making up the ground, finding Larsson. Lovely touch from Larsson. Away, spinning away from Pesanen. And again, Sutton waits. There is Chris Sutton. And the whistle is gone. Presumably for an offside. Just as Celtic got themselves into another very threatening position. Or was the ball over the line? I think that's the ruling, that Larsson had dragged the ball out. That didn't look as if the whole ball was over the line.
Well, it certainly didn't look like that from there, Rob. I don't know whether it was an infringement of some kind, but the linesman was very sure that something had happened in the central area. But a wonderful run from Larsson again there. Pulled it back, and unfortunately for Sutton, the ball just didn't fall for him.
Although there was still a chance there for Sutton to score after the whistle had gone, because he was dancing away from the goalkeeper. And Celtic have created so many chances in this match already. Larsson's downward header to Sutton. They link so well. McNamara to Peta. Away from Cruz. Good feet from Bobby Peta. Stumbles right at the edge of the area. Looks up hopefully towards Antonio Lopez Nieto. No free kick.
Yeah, it's a great run again from Bobby Peta. Lovely quick feet. I think he's actually lost possession of the ball there, so there may not have been an infringement, but that's really direct play from Peta.
It's a good save by Robert Douglas to deny Nikos Maklas. Tom Boyd lost his footing at the edge of the area. That's where this chance came from.
Yeah, he just slipped, unfortunately. Great first touch from Maklas. Opens himself up, hits the target, and Douglas does very well to get across and parry it for a corner. But it's putting a bit of pressure on now, Ajax.
Van der Vaart's corner kick, flicked on by Ibrahimovic, away by Sutton. Celtic trying to push out. Yakubu, Valharen's header. Yakubu again for Ajax. It was a tremendous save from Rob Douglas a few moments ago, because you could see that he was at absolutely full stretch to tip that one away, and his manager Martin O'Neill will have been delighted about that save and several which have preceded it. It's maybe a performance tonight from Rob Douglas which will win over a few of the doubters, although if you're being hypercritical maybe you will ask questions about his part in the Arveladze goal, but aside of that he really has been responsible for some superb saves. Yakubu, Trabelsi on the overlap, but any ball that isn't played directly to feet tends to slip away from its target, and that makes it 10 times more difficult.
Yeah, no doubt about it. What's interesting now, but Ajax are not playing with a naturally right-sided wide player at this moment, so most of their attacks are going down the left side. Arveladze is sitting in midfield, and that could give Bobby Peta just that little bit more room to try and exploit the left-hand side.
Yeah, they've had to sacrifice Ikedia, the little Nigerian, to pull on Ibrahimovic, so it's a different approach from Ajax in the second half, but certainly some potential problems for Celtic. Mido's cross, and that's not one of his better efforts, and that was right down the throat of the Celtic keeper. You're watching BBC Scotland, the big match in Amsterdam. Ajax 1, Celtic 2. 9 second half minutes played. And don't switch off or switch over, because this match has had so much drama already, and you get the feeling there's a bit more to come. Lennon's pass to McNamara. Bobby Peta against Daniel Cruz. Lennon, little burst of pace away from Arveladze. Sutton, and Didier Agat has some room. Early ball in, there goes Chris Sutton! A third Celtic goal, a crashing header from Sutton. 9.5 minutes played in the second half, and that's 3-1. Wonderful goal.
Oh, top level. What a wonderful delivery from Didier Agat. A really brave header from Chris Sutton. Comes between the two defenders. Great ball in. He attacks the ball, hits the target. There's no chance for the goalkeeper there. Lovely curling ball in. Here he arrives. He's nowhere he's missing this one. Wonderful strike and a well-deserved goal.
The two central defenders hesitated, Hassanin and Yakubu. But Chris Sutton wasn't hanging about. He went for it 100%. And you won't see a firmer or more decisive header than that. And it puts Celtic 3-1 ahead against Ajax on their home patch. Mido onto his right foot. That took a deflection, and it's a corner kick. And the moment it was deflected, you just wondered where it was heading, but it went wide of target. Corner kick for Ajax, and well, you don't need me to tell you that Mido looks a real player in the making. 18 years old. Van der Vaart's corner kick punched away by Douglas. Henrik Larsson on his own at the moment, holds the ball up perfectly. McNamara, Lambert, now Celtic counter. Didier Agat. Chris Sutton getting forward. McNamara is there, Sutton is there, Didier Agat still has it against Yakubu. Not quite sure which way to turn the defender. Helping out is Lambert. A neat 1-2. Kept in well by Paul Lambert. Henrik Larsson's there. Bobby Petta is in bags of room left side. If he could have worked that one over. But he didn't know he was there, Henrik Larsson. And Tom Boyd well positioned to cut out the pass from Mido. And it's off Ibrahimovic. Celtic's throw. And just about every time Celtic push forward, they look likely to add to their tally.
No doubt about it. Didier Agat has been outstanding because he's had to defend, he's had to get forward. Peta, the last goal was outstanding, really top level football from Celtic. It starts on the left hand side, they work it across the central area, out to Agat, wonderful ball in, and a fabulous goal. And Celtic are now really buoyant, and let's hope they can just keep possession of the ball now, but I think they might score again the way things are sitting.
Van der Vaart's pass picks out Ibrahimovic. Bobby Petta intercepting, but it wasn't the shootest of passes. Neil Lennon with a bit of chasing to do before Arveladze could get there. Ibrahimovic, good touch on the ball, big and strong as well. Van der Vaart, Valharan and Boyd trying to win it back for Celtic. Mido to Shibu. 3 at the edge of the area for Ajax. But that's great covering from Chris Sutton. He's doing good work all over the pitch. And I suppose the arrival of John Hartson won't have done him any harm, because he'll know that subpar performances will mean dropping out of the side, and well, he certainly couldn't describe his contribution tonight as subpar.
No, first-class striking performance from Chris Sutton. As you say, Rob, interesting to see that Bobby Petta has been outstanding as well, with Mr Guppy sitting on the bench and John Hartson waiting to get involved in the game, and Sutton and Larsson have been outstanding. So it just shows you the strength of having a good quality squad, being able to change things quickly, being able to have good variation, good quality coming in, and it certainly spurred them on tonight.
There's a neat exchange between Larsson and Petta, and Petta was having his shirt pulled there by Trabelsi as he tried to get in behind the African fullback. But Bobby Petta can't get through, trying his best. Daniel Cruz back to help out as well for Ajax. Free kick quickly taken. Van der Vaart. That's good play from Jackie McNamara. Well, I think he's unlucky there to have a free kick given against him. He looked to have got the ball, and it was good challenging.
No, I think a great determination to get back. He's won the ball cleanly there. He's taken the ball away, and very unfortunate to lose possession.
Maybe that's the ref levelling things up there, because he booked Van der Vaart for a tackle in the first half in which he seemed to get the ball. That tackle was on the Dutch midfielder, and it certainly didn't look like a free kick. But that's history now. Mido with the ball in his hands. Ibrahimovic coming short to receive it, but Neil Lennon getting himself in the way. Neil Lennon's a player you would always want on your side rather than having to play against. He's everywhere, and the combination with Lambert in central midfield offers Celtic such a strong stranglehold, and they've certainly had that tonight so far, and they want to maintain top concentration, big work rate as well, to keep themselves in pole position, which is currently where they are. Mido's pass is poor. Easy cutout for Mjalby, played away by Agat. Henrik Larsson with a bit of work to do, but he's not frightened of that. Lambert has it now, being chased by Van der Vaart. Away by Mjalby. Sutton gets himself there. Cruz. Trabelsi. Celtic supporters making a lot of noise, 8,000 of them officially, although you suspect there might be a few more than that. Van der Vaart again trying to find a hole in the Celtic defence. Ibrahimovic stretching out to keep possession, but not the best ball in. Petta was there for Celtic and responding to a shout from his teammates to get the ball away, and a free kick given against Yakubu, and as he protests towards the referee, he's told to cut that out, finding Henrik Larsson a bit too hot to handle. 16 minutes gone in the second half. BBC Scotland with the live match from the Amsterdam Arena, And it's Ajax 1, Celtic 3. That sounds good. Celtic, a long way to go, of course. Another leg of this tie to come, but Celtic certainly at the moment, you would have to say, heading towards the Champions League. And Eric was speaking about the new depth in Martin O'Neill's squad. He wanted that for this season. He knew he had to have it for Celtic to have any real expectations about their European participation this season. And he now has a bit more in the way of options, a bit more in the way of strength. And you can almost see that from the way the first 11 is performing out here tonight. It's been top quality, but he's got other changes that he can make in the second half. He's got the likes of Hartson and Sila and Moravcik and Guppy, all players who could come on and do a job for him. And that's way over the top, but it's a pretty healthy looking bench, isn't it, Eric?
It certainly is a very impressive looking bench, quite an expensive looking bench as well, but real quality there for a backup for Martin O'Neill. At this moment in time, there's no need to use anybody. I can see Libo Moravcik warming up, so maybe we're getting an introduction from Libo. Perfect game for him to come into. Good quality opposition and a top player.
And a nice stage to bring him on as well when you're in command, both in terms of scoreline and in the way the match is going. 3-1, Celtic ahead. And, well, that's a nice psychological edge if you can throw a player of the quality of Moravcik on. And if Ajax thought they had problems, they might have one coming their way shortly as well when Moravcik comes into the game. He'll be used selectively this season by Martin O'Neill, who constantly jokes about Moravcik's age, but he is full of creative influence for the side. Van der Vaart for Ajax. Arveladze. Mido. Agat defending this time. Cross played beyond Douglas. Chased by Ibrahimovic. And, well, that doesn't look like a fair fight, does it? Ibrahimovic against Peta. There's about a foot in it, I think, in terms of height. But Bobby Peta coming away with the ball. The whistle's gone for a free kick for Ajax. It's taken quickly between Van der Vaart and Cruz. Arveladze. Shibu. Crisply played to Van der Vaart. And wide for Shibu again. The cross lofted in, and, well, you would have to say that is very disappointing. He's a top quality player, the Romanian captain, but that was floated into no one in particular.
Yeah, it was a hopeful ball in, actually. Robbie doesn't seem to have that much conviction behind it. They look to have dropped their heads again slightly. I think the tie has come maybe a couple of years too early for Ajax. There's some wonderful footballers out there, but just lacking a bit of experience and a bit of direction at this moment in time. But it's very healthy for Celtic, and let's hope it continues that way.
Very healthy for Celtic, and you saw the reaction there from the Celtic supporters. They are having a ball. A shadow cast over the game. Free kick-off with the shooting in the Amsterdam bar this afternoon, and we hope all is well on that score. And that's the sort of incident, of course, which puts football firmly in its place. And it's only a game when you hear of happenings like that one. So a lot of worry, a lot of concern among the Celtic supporters about what happened there. But certainly smiles on faces at the moment, in a football sense, in the stadium, with Celtic looking to be in a very strong position indeed. The third round of qualifiers leading towards the Champions League. 90 minutes to come at Celtic Park in a fortnight. But Celtic couldn't really have hoped to have got themselves into a better sort of situation than this one. 20 minutes played in the second half. 3-1 ahead, goals from Peta and Agat in the first half. Arveladze pulled one back, but that thumping header from Chris Sutton has reopened that 2-goal advantage. Daniel Cruz for Ajax. Mido. Van der Vaart into Maklas. Trying to lay that off for Van der Vaart. Is well defended by Celtic and played up to Henrik Larsson on halfway. Sutton continues it on its path out wide to Peta. That's off Trabelsi, the Tunisian, 26 caps for his country, a new signing in the summer. As the revolving door has again operated in Ajax, put together the side of 2001, and there must be a lot of optimism about the future if they can hold on to the youngsters they have here. And most of them tied up on fairly lengthy contracts to make sure that if Ajax do lose them, and the big clubs are always watching here, that they're going to go for a pretty penny. Lennon tidying up in midfield. Johan Mjalby with Mido, and Maklas bearing down on him. Plays the ball away straight to Van der Vaart. Yakubu, the central defender. It's a good challenge from Tom Boyd, well won, and guided on nonchalantly by Larsson to Peta. Again testing out Trabelsi, he's having his shirt pulled. Peta, he had the better of his opposite number. He lays it off to McNamara, into Larsson. McNamara looking for the return, gets there before Trabelsi. And that's well played by Jackie McNamara, works it back to Peta. Early ball in, Chris Sutton looking for it, but it drifts away. Sidhu lets it go. And that's, again, excellent build-up from Celtic. Peta with the cross, and great work before that from Jackie McNamara.
Yeah, Celtic are looking very comfortable now. Wonderful again from Peta there. He's such a threat in the wide area. He's full of confidence. He's keen to let people come close to him. He'll take the ball close to people. He's eliminating, and he really looks on form tonight.
Peta on the ball again. He was taken off early on at Kilmarnock on Saturday. He's well and truly back to fitness. Larsson trying to win back possession. Free kick given against him, and Ajax in a hurry. And Mido on the wrong side of Agat. Into the danger area goes Mido. Good header from Johan Mjalby. Mido again, it's Valharan. That's a very clever header. He stayed cool and composed. He didn't just head that anywhere, he headed it straight out to Didier Agat. Agat's a bit fortunate to have kept possession. He's lost it now, though. Celtic don't want to be casual in those sort of positions. Van der Vaart couldn't punish him, and Agat does better this time. The ball slipped under the boot of Lambert. Lapses in concentration. And it's taken out of the danger area by Tom Boyd. Leaves it to Chris Sutton. Henrik Larsson. Switching it from right to left and bringing Bobby Peta into the game. Some tired legs out there. It's a tough shift. Celtic have put an awful lot into this, and you would imagine that Martin O'Neill will be thinking about freshening things up for Celtic before too much longer. Right now Celtic have slowed it down. Lennon and Lambert. Peta, every pass gets a round of applause from the supporters. Now Sutton. He has been absolutely immense for Celtic tonight, Chris Sutton. That's McNamara spreading play wide for Didier Agat. And at the moment Ajax are chasing shadows. Europe will be standing up and taking notice of Didier Agat, you feel, after this sort of performance from him. Yakubu clears. It's a well-controlled header from Arveladze. Daniel Cruz, Ibrahimovic against Valharan, two giants. That's a heavyweight contest between those two. Yakubu to Hassanin, the two central defenders who've been sorely tested tonight, and they've been found wanting when Celtic applied the pressure. Christian Shivu having a look at what's on in the penalty box. Played beyond Ibrahimovic for Maklas. He made a good run across the box. Watched closely though by Valharan, and the header off target.
Yeah, that's Maklas at his best. He just sees the space, attacks the space, good delivery in, and he just gets too much on it there. Possibly better just getting a glancing header. but it showed you that they still have to be very concentrated, Celtic. It's a wonderful result so far, and if they can stop Ajax scoring again, then it's a fabulous result to take back to Celtic Park.
26 second half minutes played, so we're heading fast towards the final furlong. Celtic 3-1 ahead. If you've just joined us, it's a scoreline that will possibly take you by surprise, but it's certainly been merited. 5-star performance this from Celtic so far, but as Eric says, Celtic don't want to be making any mistakes towards the tail end of the match, which will put a blemish in a showing which would set alongside some of the best in Europe. Jos Valhaeren making a good run forward, but trying to play a 1-2 with Henrik Larsson. That didn't quite come off, and now he's heading all the way back to his defensive berth, and he's been covered by Chris Sutton, who is almost perpetual motion, threatening an attack and bolstering the defence at the moment as well. Yakubu, his pass deflected and cleared by Valhaeren. Nobody there for Celtic, but it's out of any sort of threatening area. Now with Shivu. Avenues forward being cut off by Celtic for him. Forced into the square pass, and now has it back. Trying to pick up the pace, Arveladze couldn't get that controlled. Sutton with a delicate layoff to Lambert, and Didier Agat is off and running. Having a look at what's on, fired in beyond Larsson towards Sutton. Goal kick, but again that was a lightning break.
Didier Agat is unbelievable tonight, Rob. He's been up and down the whole time. It's 60-70 yard runs that he's making at pace. He's still getting back into defend. Okay, he's been covered at times by the centre backs, but outstanding performance from him this evening.
Shot at Arveladze, the Georgian, very experienced player. Van der Vaart, the youngster, alongside him. Now Yakubu. Trabelsi it is, in fact, the right back, and wins himself a free kick against Bobby Petta's challenge, and like Agat on the right-hand side, Bobby Petta up and down the line on the left for Celtic as Ajax prepare to make another switch, and it's Yakubu who comes off, the defender, and it's Andy van der Meijden who comes on, and he's a midfielder, so clearly Adrian's left with no other option at this stage than to gamble a little. It's a defensive player off, a more attacking player on. And this free kick to come. Van der Vaart, and again it's played beyond the strikers, and that's an easy take for Rob Douglas. The news from Ibrox is not good. Michael Moles has been sent off. Rangers down to 10 men, 15 minutes into the second half. Still the scoreline is at 0-0, but Fenerbahce now with a one-man advantage. Michael Moles red-carded, and Tom Boyd is holding his face and needing a little bit of attention.
Yeah, I think he's gesturing there, Rob, that perhaps an elbow was used, and I think Tom Boyd's pretty clear in who it was. Didn't see it in the replay there, but Tom Boyd very incensed at what's happened there, and he's obviously clear that somebody lifted an elbow to him, or his head.
We're at the mercy of the Dutch television director here, so we can't really fully answer the question for you about what exactly happened there, but Tom Boyd clearly reckons he was elbowed in the face, and one wonders if it will turn a little bit nasty from an Ajax viewpoint as the frustration boils over in these closing stages. There's less than 15 minutes of regulation time left in the arena. And let me give you that scoreline again, because it sounds so good from a Scottish viewpoint. Ajax 1, Celtic 3. Petta, Agat and Sutton, the goal scorers. Shivu to Van der Vaart. Ibrahimovic. Didier Agat charged into the challenge. Shivu was able to get beyond him, and it's a good run from the Romanian. And that's a good block from Boyd. Played up for Larsson. And the free kick is given. He's had to put up with a fair bit of physical stuff tonight, Larsson, but he's well able to cope with that. Martin O'Neill wanting to negotiate these crucial closing stages. He'd certainly settle for this scoreline to take back to Glasgow in 2 weeks' time. He wants Celtic to maintain full concentration, but he wouldn't complain if they knocked in another goal. And the way Celtic have performed here tonight, he wouldn't rule that one out. Van der Vaart for Miklas. Valharan judged that very well. Johan Mjalby. Neil Lennon chested down to Didier Agat. Great movement off the ball from Celtic. Whenever the ball is played, you can guarantee that a couple of others are running off the ball to try and get it back and keep the moves going at it.
Absolutely, that's a team that are playing with confidence. They look a really professional outfit now, Celtic, whether it be from the composure in the mid-park area with Lennon and Lambert, to the real threat up front and the real physical presence of both Larsson and Sutton. And defensively, they've been rock solid. The two wider players for me have been real stars tonight. They've worked tirelessly, both defensively and offensively, and it's a really top-level all-round performance.
And the man who's trying to get the ball back there, Chris Sutton, he's been immense as well for Celtic. But it's one of those nights where it's really difficult to pick out individuals. Probably wrong to pick out individuals, because this has been all about a super slick team performance from Celtic. Lots of graft and lots of skill as well to go with it, and real penetration in the final third. As we've seen from the 3 goals, and Celtic had 1 or 2 breaks in front of goal. Might well have been 5 by now when you think they hit the crossbar, and Fred Grimm produced an unbelievable save to deny Sutton in the first half. Here come Ajax with Cruz in the wide position. It's Van der Meijden. Good ball in, and a good header from Johan Mjalby. Maklas was waiting for it in behind him. Mido tries to play the ball in again. It's Bobby Petta at the far post, who just guides that one away from the substitute Van der Meijden. And that throw-in wasn't taken correctly by the 21-year-old Ajax player, and Antonio Lopez Nieto says that's now a Celtic throw. That one didn't dear him anymore to the home supporters. Sutton the target man. Won by Passanen, but it breaks for Paul Lambert, and Didier Agat is again in a threatening position. Agat against Shivu. Lambert and Larsson forward in support, and that wasn't really what Didier Agat was wanting. He was fairly static when Lambert played the return ball, and that one fizzled out.
Yeah, it certainly did, but it's unfortunate. Again, Lambert thinking that Agat was possibly going for the 1-2. Might have been better keeping possession, turning out, maybe having a shot himself, or at least trying to keep possession, but Celtic now totally in control.
Henrik Larsson. Indecisive play from Ajax, mistakes being made, concentration being lost, and Daniel Cruz guilty of a trip on Sutton here as he ran away from him with the ball, and a clear free kick. And some of the Ajax heads beginning to hang a bit low at the moment. You can understand why. And Celtic will hope that they can cash in again in these closing stages and just heighten the torture a little bit for the home team. McNamara's free kick driven in towards Larsson, looking for the overhead kick. Yakubu was there to touch the ball away from him.
I just wonder of when the last time a Scottish team scored 3 away goals in Europe. So it's a fantastic feat to come away from home against a top quality opposition such as Ajax and to score 3 away goals.
I've my fingers in the record books, of course I would immediately tell you, but that's one for afterwards. I think we'll have to find out when that was the case, but against quality opposition this is a tremendous scoreline for Celtic. Van der Vaart trying to find some room, he's struggled so far. Mido, Valharan there first. Petta's header is dangerous, Sutton was there. Ibrahimovic, not quite sure what he was going to do there, and he flicked it high and wide. Celtic don't want to lose another goal between now and full time, because there's a big difference, isn't there, psychologically, even between 3-1 and 3-2.
Yeah, definitely. It's a lot of tired legs out there now. Celtic have worked tireless tonight. Every area they've covered, they've tried to press the ball. They've done that at first class, really wonderfully pressing the ball in the right areas, and have been a real threat up front. So it's let's hope they can continue this and not lose another goal. If they concede one now, it would certainly give Ajax a lift, and would certainly tarnish what's been a fabulous performance.
Just 8.5 minutes of the 90 remaining. There'll be a little bit of stoppage time, but not a lot. And the prize is a big one for Celtic if they can maintain the hold they have on the game. If they can hold it right here, they're 90 minutes away from the Champions League with a 2-goal advantage. Sounds good, sounds impressive. And maybe if Didier Agat gets his skates on again, it might be more than a 2-goal advantage. But Celtic will be fairly unconcerned at this stage about another goal. What is really important is keeping things tight at the back and not allowing Ajax back into the tie. They look closed out of it at the moment, but Celtic want to keep things as they are. They've slowed it right down, keeping the ball. Ajax can come and get it. That's the message. Good play again from Agat. Lambert, good ball in, good delivery. Away by Yakubu, only as far as Peta. His cross ball. Sutton, good header, saved by Grimm. He had a little look there, Chris Sutton, and he tried to loop that one over the top of the keeper, and he's disappointed he didn't make it 4.
Another wonderful delivery from Bobby Peta. There's only going to be one winner in the centre. Softens the header just slightly, tries to direct to the back post, and that's a good save from Grimm to touch it over for a corner.
He saw the goalkeeper a couple of yards off his line there, and you could see exactly what Chris Sutton was trying to do, and Grimm was a relieved man that he could get back to tip that one over the top. End of the match for Henrik Larsson, and a first taste of European action with Celtic for John Hartson. He came on as a sub early on for Bobby Peta at Kilmarnock on Saturday, and now the Champions League qualifier for him the last few minutes, and here comes the corner kick. Jackie McNamara with it.
If Ajax thought it was physical before, Rob, they'll certainly know that it will be now.
Yeah, Sutton and Hartson coming at them for the remaining minutes. 6.5 minutes left of the 90. Didier Agat, another surging run. That was played in for Valharan, and a desperate measures in the Ajax defence to force that one away. So not just Larsson, who's now gone for them, and Sutton and Hartson and Agat and Peta to contend with in an attacking sense. That was Jos Valharan up, adding his considerable bulk to the latest Celtic attack. And Ajax looking disjointed and dispirited at the moment, and Celtic have hurt them badly tonight. Their confidence has been eroded as the match has gone on, and Celtic are running the show, and they haven't got an awful lot longer to go to complete what would be a fabulous result. Van der Meijde, his substitute, having a little shove at Bobby Peta on the way past, and Bobby Peta snapping at the heels of Van der Vaart in the midfield to try to win it back for Celtic. And even after 80-odd minutes of action, Peta still sprinting about the field, but with his socks pulled down, he is clearly feeling the pace. Van der Vaart on his left foot, and that maybe just sums it up for Ajax tonight. There was no great pressure on him. He was able to line up the shot from 25 yards out. It went off the outside of his boot and nowhere near the goal of Rob Douglas.
No, all credit to Celtic, and certainly their back three. They're really defended exceptionally well tonight. They've not allowed Machlas to make those runs in behind. They've been prepared to step up. They've threatened the ball, and really only the opportunities Ajax have had have been from distance, obviously, apart from the goal.
Celtic about to make another switch, and it will be Steve Guppy coming on for his first taste of any sort of action with Celtic since signing from Leicester. And I wouldn't be surprised at all if it was Bobby Peta who goes off, and it's a straight swap, left midfielder for left midfielder, and Guppy agitated on the touchline, and he's desperate to get on. Neil Lennon, Peta, this might be his last involvement, and he lets the ball drift off Van der Meijde. for a Celtic throw. Celtic will now make the switch, and as expected, Peta off. An outstanding showing from Peta tonight. The Celtic fans greet him, as does Martin O'Neill and John Robertson. And he scored the all-important opening goal after just 7 minutes of this match. And Steve Guppy on for some serious business with Celtic for the first time. There he is, his first touch. Basanen to Shivu. His socks down as well, and a definite tiredness about the Ajax players, and it's a lot easier to run about the pitch at this stage of the match when you're 3-1 ahead than it is when you're 3-1 down.
Well, there's no doubt about that, Rob. It's very, very difficult now for Ajax. As we said before, there's no real direction, there's no real leadership now. The tie's over, I would imagine, at this point. And Celtic have really performed wonderfully.
And maybe crucial for Ajax has been the absence of their skipper, the Czech Tomas Galasek, who plays the sort of holding role in midfield to protect the defence. He's not been there tonight because of injury. He's the skipper, he's the leader, and without him, as you say, they've been pretty much directionless. And players like Aram Winter, the experienced Dutchman, he's been sold to Sparta Rotterdam, he's out of here. And Richard Witschke, another Dutch international, another experienced player, he, after saying some naughty words about Co-Adriaans, is playing for the reserves now, Ajax 2. And they're the sort of players that might have helped Ajax along tonight, because the balance is very much swinging towards youth and burgeoning talent maybe, but lacking maybe in a bit of street wisdom, and that's where they've lost out tonight, and they've been played off the park by Celtic. Van der Muyde, his cross charged down by the combination of Guppy and McNamara, and we have just 2 minutes of the regulation time left, and a little bit of stoppage to be added to that. So Celtic looking to keep their eyes fixed firmly on the ball. They've done so well so far, but they don't want to spoil it so near to the end. That's John Hartson. He's inherited Ayel Berkovic's number 10 shirt. Those two have been linked quite closely in the past. Little trading ground dust up, and the shirt's gone from one to the other in the close season. Hartson keen to prove that he can crack it yet again in the big time. It's another big money move for him. Man of many clubs, and he's still just in his mid-20s. He's done a good job there on closing down Trabelsi as he went forward. Now Daniel Cruz. Wide for Mido. Again, it's a situation where he wants the ball ahead of him, not behind him. And that's a tired-looking cross into the box.
Yeah, it's all gone now for Ajax. There's no way back for them, Rob. There's nobody that's capable of giving them direction at this point. They look tired, they've worked hard. They've had to try and take the game to Celtic, especially in the second half. And they really haven't found any solutions. And it's becoming a very tired Ajax side that we see in front of us.
Inside the last minute of the 90, just about 30 seconds to go. And we're still waiting to see how much time will be added on. You wouldn't imagine it's too much. And Celtic, who've piled so much into this action tonight, will accept the final whistle any time. Van der Vaart for Ajax, chipped over the top. There's a useful ball for Arveladze. Good header from Mjalby to cut it out. And a free kick given against the home team, which has Nikos Maklas hanging his head in despair. And, well, despair all around the pitch inside those red and white shirts. As we see, that's 2 minutes will be added on. 2 minutes remaining because we've played now 45. We've played 90 in total. Chris Sutton with a little nudge on Yakubu. And, well, is this maybe his best performance in a Celtic shirt tonight? It can't be far short.
Well, I don't know if it's his best, Rob, certainly, but tonight he's been outstanding, both offensively and defensively. He's been a real threat from set pieces, from corners into the box, a real presence in there. But he's worked tirelessly. He's slipped into midfield at times to cover, and even for the back three at times he's been there in a left back area, working tirelessly for the Celtic cause, and it's a very, very good performance from Chris Sutton.
Yeah, here he is again on the ball. He's never hiding, Sutton. always available, always wants it, even at times like this when he is absolutely exhausted. Trabelsi can't get through him. It's played down the line by Steve Guppy for John Hartson. Against Pisanen, the defender, took a deflection of Yakubu. It took two of them to get that away from the Welsh international striker. Now Van der Vaart whistles all around the ground, looking for full time. Nikos Maklas, and firing a shot straight at Rob Douglas, and then having a go at Jos Valharen. A little altercation between the Greek striker and the Belgian defender. And you can see in moments like these where the frustration of an evening spills over. He's not happy.
No, I think he's just trying to say, Rob, that he lent into the defender. I didn't think there was a problem there. I think he did very well to hold off Valharen and get the shot on target. So obviously frustrated there and not particularly good refereeing.
Full time in the Amsterdam Arena. And absolutely brilliant for Celtic. Those are the only words to describe it. A superb performance. The Ajax heads are hung low in disappointment. And it's the Celtic supporters who are making an awful lot of noise. They're applauded there by John Hartson. And the trip to Holland has been well worthwhile. Paul Lambert adds his round of applause as well for the backing that Celtic have had. And the Ajax defence with Petri Pisanen at the heart of it, pulled apart by Celtic tonight. It has been a five-star team performance. 3-1 winners. Some grim goalkeeping early on from the Ajax #1 helped Celtic out. Bobby Petta and Didier Agat scored. Arveladze pulled one back. But by the time John Hartson was on the pitch, it was 3-1 Celtic when Chris Sutton scored with that crushing header. An unbelievably strong performance, and Celtic's rating in Europe will have shot skywards tonight.
Well, no doubt about that. It was a wonderful, wonderful result, but not only that, it was a wonderful performance. A real top-quality European performance. As we can see, the Celtic supporters delighted, and so they should be. They've come a long way, but it's been well worth the wait. Celtic haven't been obviously that dominant in Europe recently, but tonight will certainly take them forward into that stage, and it's a very, very happy Celtic team that will leave Amsterdam tonight.
You hesitate to say that Celtic are in the Champions League, but they've taken a giant stride towards it tonight in Amsterdam. They'll surely take a lot of catching in 2 weeks' time at Celtic Park after a momentous showing here. And that final scoreline of Ajax 1, Celtic 3.
An incredible night at the Amsterdam Arena. Alan Stubbs, seeing your former teammates there, how much would you like to be along with them this evening?
That was a great result. You know, you couldn't have asked for it to go any better. You know, I think one word describes the performance, and that was class. You know, everyone on the pitch was absolutely magnificent. Couldn't have asked any more of them. You know, and the gaffer will be absolutely delighted.
Craig, would you go along with that?
Absolutely. I thought it was tremendous. I did say at half-time I thought they would score again, and I did also say that crosses into the box would cause a problem, but it was a wonderful delivery from Agat to Sutton for the clinching goal. That just took the heart right out of Ajax. They were beginning to come in towards the end of the first half. They got a little bit of heart. I'm sure they were pumped up at half-time.
You know, so this is a fantastic result.
It truly is. We can't say it often enough. 3-1 tonight, an incredible result. One of the things that it could have been 3-1 much quicker. Larson, 1 minute into the second half, and he had a fantastic chance. You'd have put your house and have scored in this one.
Yeah, it's not like Henrik Larsson to miss that. You know, Celtic have won 3-1 and Larsson hasn't scored. It's quite amazing. There he goes. He does everything correctly. I mean, tremendous. You couldn't fault him in any way.
Anytime now.
That's got to be one of the great Scottish performances in Europe.
I'm glad you said that, Chick. I thought the boys were immense from start to finish. We could have scored 6 goals. We didn't do. You know, they were absolutely immense today in Ajax, and I don't care what they deserve all the credit in the world. They were magnificent.
Is this your finest moments?
Well, no, because we haven't done anything. We haven't actually done it. We've not gone through yet at all. But the lads were immense tonight, and they were so powerful and so precise. But their football was sensational.
Well done. I know one of the heroes beside you. Thanks, man.
Absolutely.
Paul Lambert. Paul, you've been a hero of many European great nights with Bruce, but that's got to be up there.
Fantastic.
Just shows you what can achieve with hard work. I said to you yesterday, hard work will get you through the games, and this is one of the best results I've had also.
When you went ahead, did you always feel comfortable after that?
Of course. I said yesterday we've got a great work to win, and no, absolutely fantastic.
A great feeling, not a failure in the team. Bobby Petty there, Bobby. What a performance, I've just said to Paul, incredible.
I think we deserve to win today. We played really good, and 3-1 I think is a good result.
You're feeling very relaxed. There's a little bit of sweat on you there.
Yeah, there's a wee bit of sweat because it's quite warm here. You know?
Yeah, you must have enjoyed it particularly to come back to Holland and produce a performance like that.
Yeah, I'm glad, you know what I mean, own performance, but I'm glad it's been a total team performance, and I think as a team we played very well today.
Yeah, a wonderful performance right through the team. Henrik Larsson, I think we can get a word with him. Well done, lads.